Next, let's do Avatar: The Last Airbender, because I am more of a fan of Legend of Korra than Avatar: The Last Airbender, so I want to save that for last. Best for last. Aang really made me mad a lot of the times. He would make. Do you know what? I do have to give him his credit because he was the one that learned how to take away bending from someone, and he, to be fair, he didn't learn it by himself. He learned it from the turtle. The lion turtle. To be fair, he did go up against one of the most menacing villains in the series, or the most menacing villain, and was able to defeat him not by death, but by taking away his bending, which is so boss. You have to respect it. So Aang definitely goes in S tier. Appa is S tier for sure. Literally a goat. Literally a goat pet. What can you... Do I even need to explain that? Okay, hear me out. Azula has to be an A. Okay? She's a villain, but she brought so much like life to the show, and she made it exciting to watch. Like every time I'd catch myself sometimes be like, "Oh my god, her again." Like that character got you involved, so you have to give it some credit. I forgot what he was, but I mean, he was a good character. I'll put him in B. The cabbage guy, S. Oh my god, you have to put the cabbage guy in S. 100%. His bits were always funny to me. I always loved like how rare but how involved. Like he's a rare character to see, but when you'd see him, you'd be like, "Oh, we already know what's coming," you know? He brought also some good energy and even good life to whatever scenes he was in. Third eye man. He was pretty D. I'm not gonna lie. He had a pretty sick power and he still wasn't able to beat them. That's such a huge L. The Sandbenders, definitely D. Horrible people. He's definitely A, top of A, because he was the only one from the monks that cared about Aang. Sokka's father. I'd put him middle of A. He was a pretty strong character. He was pretty good. He was fun to have around. Oh, the Bloodbender. Bottom of D. Disgusting character. Him, oh my god, he annoyed me so much. He didn't do anything. And I genuinely think he could have had so much more potential, but just his character was, for me, a lot weaker than I expected him to be. So I'll put him in C. And I know that I'm right because I prefer this character over him. So I definitely put him in C. Uncle Iroh has to be S. How can you not put Uncle Iroh in S? You know what? I prefer Uncle Iroh over Aang, without a doubt. 100%. 100%, without a doubt. The White Lotus Firebender. You know what? I'd put him in top of B because I think he could have helped Aang out a lot more. He did point out to the obvious dangers of firebending, but I think he could have done a lot more to help him. And also, I'm only leaving him in B because he's just a cool character, right? Like from his design and all that stuff, to his backstory or whatever. I'd put him like in B. He could have been an A if he helped Aang properly, but he didn't really do anything to help him. He just said, "Oh, be warned, like this is gonna happen." And when he did, he just let out his anger on him. Like, no. Jet was pretty annoying, to be honest. I'd put Jet in D because even though he was clearly in the right to go up against the Fire Nation in the way that he did, or like it was a fair point of view, I don't think he went about it the right way, because he literally was about to kill innocent people just to have a go at the Fire Nation, which is crazy. And if I remember correctly, those civilians that he was about to kill weren't actually Fire Nation. They were like locals or something, I think. But yeah, for that reason, I'd put him top of D. He was a horrible person, I'm not gonna lie. Although I feel bad for him. Zuko's girlfriend. or temporary girlfriend, I guess. I'd put her bottom of A, because she was generally going out of her way to give him a chance. So you have to put respect on that. You know what I mean? And she wasn't all weird and all that. She was a genuine person. You know what I mean? Oh, poor thing. Her. I forget what she's called. I'd put her like bottom of C. I feel so bad. She got controlled all the time. I'd put her I forgot her name, but I'd put her top of C. She was pretty cool. Katara, oh my god. Katara's top of D. Say what you want. Katara's top of D. She annoyed me so much. Every single time. Not to mention, bro, even, what's her name? Toph said it. She's always acting like the mother of the group. Like, shut up. Like, no one asked you to, you're not the leader. You know what I mean? Pipe down. She's definitely in D tier. She annoyed me way too much for me to put her anywhere above. Oh, I forgot his name, but he's the Earth Kingdom. He was pretty cool. I'd put him in top of B. The bear owner, but top of C. He was pretty annoying with his ignorance, but he made up for it with the fact that he realized it was a mistake, so he went back on it. Avatar Kyoshi annoyed me. She's bottom of C. Oh, this guy's bottom of D for sure. He was pretty cool. I'd put him bottom B. Top level of A for sure. Top level. She literally sacrificed herself in a way to help Zuko and all the other ones to escape from that island. And she went up against her own uncle. Not to mention Azula and the entire Fire Nation, which is crazy. Like, that takes a lot of guts. And she only did it because Zuko was there. Gotta respect him. The Doctor, as I call him. He made some pretty cool inventions. They wouldn't have been able to get as far as they did if it was they wouldn't have been able to get as far as they did in the invasion of the Fire Nation. That was without him implementing it. So you gotta give him credit. He's pretty cool. I'd put him middle of B for sure. Momo has to be S. No need for explanation. The Fire Lord is definitely in bottom of D. Horrible villain. I don't think they showed. They definitely showed the side of his character where he's definitely cruel and, war hungry. I don't think they showed enough of his aggressiveness and how fierce he is in battle. I think they could have showed it a lot more. I didn't really care for this character, I'm not gonna lie. He was pretty annoying too when we met him, but he did help the Avatar and Katara, so we'll give him something. He's top of B. No, I'd say no. He's bottom of A. The fact that he did not care what nation Sokka was from, and he knew it from the jump, and was still willing to teach him properly, is such a W. You can't even go against it. The Duke, definitely bottom of B. I forgot what his name was, but I know he's an Avatar. He was a pretty big W. He really tried his best. I'd say he's top of A. He's definitely top of A. He tried his best and he actually put in effort, but his friend ended up betraying him, which sucks because he was relying on his friend and he trusted him and he warned him, and then his friend was kind of obsessed with whatever he's trying to achieve, and he was like, nope, I want to do what I want to do, and then betrayed him. I forgot what this character's name is, but character was okay, so I'd put this character bottom of B as well. Sokka, I'd put him second in A for sure. I don't think he's S tier, to be honest, but I also don't think he's worse than any of these other characters that I've listed here. I'd rather Cabbage Man over Sokka, that's for sure. Sokka had the comedic side of the story pretty set. I just didn't like how they kind of painted him constantly as someone who's trying to achieve it, who's trying, and then he fails it. Like, I get it, but at the end, I don't think they did enough to kind of give him credit for what he could have been. Because then we end up having to wait to see the full movie to then actually what he did later on in his life. I forgot what his name is, but he was such a horrible person. Again, he betrayed his own friend, backstabbed him. Like, what a rap, bro. And he knew it was wrong, but he was so self-centered that he just couldn't get away from it. So for that reason, he's definitely bottom of D. I forgot what her name was, but she was a pretty cool character. I'd put her bottom of A for sure. He was okay. I'd put him bottom of B. He was pretty annoying. I'd put him I'd put him top C. Because he did end up coming back to help with the invasion. So you have to game recognizes game. You know what I mean? This one was okay. This character I'd put middle of C. That's fine. Toph has to be S tier. Toph, literally, I think I'd put her second tier of S tier. Second place in S tier, to be honest. I put her above Aang. She's literally a child, and she was still able to take on people while being blind, bro. and nobody had any idea that she was that strong. You have to respect that kind of secrecy and keeping things to yourself. You know what I mean? And she was able to show it when the time came. Because then she beat this guy and this guy, and no, she didn't beat him, but she did beat this guy as well. She proved herself, and she helped Aang learn earthbending. That's crazy. Ty Lee was a whatever character, to be honest. I'd put her bottom of C as well. Zuko's mother, I'd put her bottom of C just because I feel bad about her backstory. The librarian owl, D. So annoying. This guy, he's also D. He was a random character. Didn't really like him. Not really random, but I just didn't really like him. Oh, Suki, that was Sokka's girlfriend's name. She was an okay character. She definitely helped out Aang, so you have to give her some credit. You know what I mean? I'd put her in third place in B, for sure. This guy's a D. General Zhao is definitely a D as well, and Zuko is S tier for sure. I'd even put Zuko above Aang. Oh my god, I'd definitely put Zuko. Like, it's weird. At times, even during the time that he was a villain, you would still appreciate his character. But I mean, to be fair, sometimes it's because like I definitely think that Zuko is definitely like S tier. I think he's even better than Aang. The character development that Zuko had, like that alone makes him worth being an S tier and higher than Aang, because I don't think Aang had any character development, to be honest. He stayed the same way from the start to the end. That's why at the end he didn't fight Ozai. He literally just took away his bending, which I'm not discrediting, but at the same time, he didn't have a strong heart to actually put an end to it the hard way. So I don't know. That's how I see it. And that being said, we have come to the end of the Avatar: The Last Airbender tier list, and I'm not gonna lie, looking at it right now, I think this is pretty good. I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it.